Okay, I can see that the majority of people have already joined, so let's start. So hello again, and welcome to this webinar that will be about QuickPick. If you don't know me already, my name is Veronica, and I'm a Global Project Manager here at Vendon. So again, thank you for joining me today. As today I will tell you all about our loyalty app that is called QuickPick. And today we will focus on all of the different use cases, not all of them, I would say some of the use cases that our clients are using currently, as it might open up your mind to some ideas how you could implement loyalty programs within your company. But before we start and dive into those use cases, I think it's really important to understand what is QuickPick. So QuickPick actually was born out of the necessity to link the end user with the coffee or vending machine. Because all of those freestanding machines that you have scattered around, the operator itself, they have no control over it. Like, they don't know if the machine is working or not. They don't know if the machine can serve their customers. And at the end, they don't even know who their customers are and what do they like to drink or buy. And this is where Vendon comes into play, because we can not only tell you how your machines are doing, we can also give you an access to interact with your end user and make them come back for that another coffee or another snack exactly at your machine, because at the end of the day, that is something that all of us want. So you might ask, okay, so in what kind of environment does QuickPick typically work? And I would say it can be used anywhere from closed environments to really public spaces. So where you can put your machine, there you can put the QuickPick. So that would be the easiest way to understand. But after, when we go into the use cases, you will really understand, the different types of environments that it's typically used. So how it works. It's super simple. You have your equipment, either it's a vending machine or a coffee machine, and you add or a hardware device that's called VBox, and you stick a sticker on your machine with a unique QR code. Now all of the communication is done via our hardware and our cloud, and that's where you can do all of the setup. And during the setup itself, you can manage the permissions of the users, you can set user groups, manage consumption, and so on and so forth. So really, the opportunities there are endless, but you handle all of that in our cloud, not the app itself. So the end user, on the other hand, can receive discounts, they can get products free of charge, and they can even link a payment card, to the app to get the maximum benefit out of it. But as I said, today we will focus on 4 success stories or case studies. And first, we will look at QuickPick app and how can it be used for cost control to limit free product offerings. Secondly, I will tell you how you can diversify your product offerings from one user to another. And third one will be where we will look into QuickPick as a solution for returning customers. And last but not least, we will discuss how you can offset high transaction fees with the use of QuickPick loyalty app. So the first case that I wanted to look into is how QuickPick can be used as a toolbox for free product offerings. And here in the background, you will see a video that explains it better. But basically, the first use case, we saw it coming to life almost after COVID, because once COVID hit, a lot of businesses had to close down. A lot of businesses, especially offices, they couldn't offer, the same amounts of like free drinks, food, or whatever that, was used before. And the main issue that the operators saw was that the employers would say, we cannot have the coffee machine in our office. It's just simply too expensive, taking into consideration, how many cups we're taking. Because, for instance, that particular customer was using paper cup model. So, for them, the fees really, really added up. And they said, you have to just take the machine out. We don't want to do business with you. And they thought, okay, well, what can we do to keep the machine and keep the employees satisfied as well? So what they did was introduced our loyalty app, where they limited the amount of cups that the employees could drink. So for instance, it would be only 2 cups a day, but still, with that, they still could keep the coffee machine, which was better than not having coffee machine at all. And after talking with the employees at the office itself, they said, 2 cups are like, sufficient enough, as well as it allowed them to be more mindful and more sustainable, that, they drink those coffees, not that they take a coffee and then, just leave it somewhere and take another drink. And so that is one of the main use cases that kind of was born after COVID, and after the hard times hit the operators. But moving along, we saw another great case for QuickPick, is where you can diversify what kind of products are you selling in your machine for what kind of price. And we had this was again an OCS coffee operator who got a feedback from employees at a particular location that the coffee is great, but they would wish to have something sweeter or something tastier, so it would be coffee with syrups added into it. The actual client who was paying for this, because again, they were using the paper cup model, said that, we simply cannot add this to the complimentary offering, as then the costs will be just way too high. And to satisfy both parties, QuickPick was introduced, because then on the same machine, free and paid drinks could coexist. So if you wanted to drink with a syrup, you would pay for it. But if you wanted, like, let's say, regular coffee, you would get it for free, as you would authorize yourself at the machine, and the machine would understand whether you're allowed a drink for free or it's a paid drink. So that's another really great case how you can set up the machine to have paid and free drinks at the same time. The third case that we will look into today is how you can cultivate your customer loyalty through the app. As I briefly mentioned before at the beginning of this short webinar, was that, you beforehand, you didn't know who was your customer, who was on the other side, but obviously you wanted for them to come back. How can you make them come back? Obviously, it's the location where the machine is located. It's the quality of the product, whether they actually like the taste of the drink or the product offering that you have there. But it's also if you can have some loyalty program attached to it. So one way that QuickPick is used and introduced is that you might have, let's say, if you buy coffee at my machine, that once a week, I give you, let's say, a free coffee. Another way that is really popular right now with like grocery stores and big chains is that if you do have their loyalty program card, that you can have like a free coffee while you're shopping, you know, if you're a loyal customer. So here the opportunities really are endless, as we are just the gateway to get the communication to and from the machine. But this is just to give you an insight how it's being used currently. And if we move along to the last one, it's the high transaction fees that everyone wants to limit. And in our business, we often have products that don't cost a lot. And then if they don't cost a lot, it becomes really costly to have cashless devices attached to those machines, because then the transaction costs are sky high. And what we have seen is that nowadays in many workplaces, they don't want to offer the products completely for free, but you know, they are open to subsidize some amount of that price so that the customers can have the products for cheaper. So for instance, I just put up like a simple graph here where you could see if, let's say, a product would cost €3, the company would subsidize 270 of it, and the end user would have to pay 30 cents for that product. So it would be that for every purchase of those 30 cents, approximately, this again is really approximate because various factors can determine this, but the transaction fee for each of this transaction would be around 3 cents. And if we multiply it by those 500 transactions that happened in, let's say, a week's time, that would be €15 extra just for the transaction fees. So with the QuickPick app, you can actually eliminate this cost at all, because you know, you can do the payment through the app, so you don't have to use the actual cashless device. So again, this is another one that's just really like an easy and simple way of using QuickPick app. So again, this was really sweet and short. We try to keep those webinars as short as we can, because we don't want to overwhelm you with the information. And as you can see, we are doing them more often and more targeted on some of the topics. So I wanted to say thank you for joining. And if you do have any questions about QuickPick or how to use it, and you want to introduce it within your business, please DM me, or you can email me. We will have my contact information here. And yes, our next webinar will be about traditional coffee machine telemetry. So it will be really interesting. So keep your eyes peeled to Vendon's LinkedIn page and website, and I will see you then. Thank you.